Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about how I made this ginormous treant out of styrofoam and some pieces of wood. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and let's just get right into the video. Alright, so for this piece we need to make some feet, and for this we're just taking a piece of styrofoam and cutting it into kind of a circular piece, a little bit of a bottom on it. I didn't want to spend too much time on that, and this is the leg piece. So we're carving out the sides, we're turning it into almost kind of like a U, a shape, carving it down. I just love these noises that I get from the styrofoam. And then it's going to kind of connect like that. Now this is the thigh piece, and with the thigh piece, a lot of the detail is going to come later on, but just to get the basic shape right now. So I'm carving out the sides, and also make sure you're using a very sharp knife when you do this so you don't hurt yourself, and make sure your finger positioning is pretty good. I have a hard time with that, and I can obviously do better with it, but we all make mistakes, and this is kind of like the muscle structure of it. Granted, a treant doesn't really have muscle structure, I would imagine, but I wanted to add some in there just for detail and effect. Putting it up next to the other leg, and now we're just going to be carving into the body. So edging out each piece, all the sides, cutting a little bit of a waist into it, and then also adding a hole in the middle, like the center of a tree. Using my fingers to kind of take off these pieces to kind of get that groove effect. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. And just putting it up next to the thigh to see how it's going to kind of work. This is the shoulder blade. I sped this part up just to make it a little bit easier on myself for editing, and I actually did a good job filming this part. So we're just going to chop off the sides, give it a nice rounded shoulder effect, make it a little bit slimmer, and just continue to edge it. Now we're going to make the hand, and the hand's pretty easy. I didn't want to put a ton of time into it because I didn't really need to, so it's just pretty much that. And this is the face. This is where the life of the character really gets its shape. Making the face on any piece is really important, but we're not going to be doing too much detailing right now. We're just going to be getting the basic shape of it. Cutting in here, getting the cheek parts, rounding out the head, continuing to cut the cheek grooves, and we're also going to get the mouth right there. There we go, that looks pretty good. And now we're just putting everything next to it to see how it kind of looks and getting it ready for glue. Just using hot glue to glue everything together. Make sure your hot glue is not too warm so it doesn't eat away at the styrofoam. So you got to kind of take it in and out of the outlet. Sorry. And now we're gluing the arm pieces together, I believe. Yep, and then we're putting on the piece of the hand, and that's one of the arms. And now we're adding some extra wood grain detail to the body. And you'll see we'll add it all over. All we do is take a X-Acto blade and then hit it with a pen to really bring out those details. And we do that on a ton of parts of this build. Continuing to do it on the sides, really giving more and more detail as we go. Just makes this thing look absolutely fantastic, I think. And yeah, look at that. I think that looks really good. Now we're cutting out some more pieces for the hands, more detail on the little hand pieces. Continuing to cut it out and adding a little extra detail in there. Same technique that I had before where I score it with a knife and then hit it with the pen. Adding some extra detail to the legs. And I did this all over to every single piece. I just didn't show everything because that would be a lot of work. You kind of get the idea. This is the hands. The hands are just little pieces of branches that I connected and glued in. And then we're adding branches all over this piece to kind of give it just to make it look a little bit more organic. When I was doing this, I didn't know if this was a mistake or not, but turns out this was a really good way to make this actually pop out. We're adding some pieces up here to kind of give it more of a muscle look. And yeah, just look at the difference between the one already. And now we're going to add these ginormous pieces of wood. I wouldn't say ginormous, but these little like wood flakes that you can get off this bark. I found this bark in my backyard. already off a tree, just sitting in a firewood pile. And we're gonna add these all over, and this is gonna really give it a nice wood, like bark skin, bark armor kind of texture. So I'm doing that all over, doing it on the hands even. Pretty much anywhere I can put it, I want to do it. Doing it on the other underside of the hands, or the arms, and yeah. Doing this takes quite a bit of time. It probably took about an hour. And it's a lot of work. But it's definitely worth it in the long haul. So now we're just comparing the two pieces again and continuing to wrap things around and just make things look very, very good. I'm using bigger pieces for the chest because I think it's just going to look better overall. So we're just using big chunk pieces, kind of like big armor. That's like the heart of the tree. We're going to be wrapping all this around. And I just love seeing this thing come together. I think it's really great. Now we're making the eyes, which is just Dollar Storm foam core and another piece of styrofoam for the nose. Sorry I didn't show you how to make the nose, but I got it like all off camera. We're adding more pieces of bark to the face to really give this thing more shape. And yeah, sorry about the camera work here. It's not that great. I apologize. But we're just continuously adding pieces of bark. And yeah, the head, I think, turned out really, really nice. And it's just going to fit right on top of there. And now we're using white Elmer's glue. And we're going to attach this glue all over the piece. Just because we don't want it to fall apart. And this is going to really make sure that when I hit it with spray paint, that the foam isn't going to die from the spray paints like acid or anything like that. When you hit styrofoam with spray paint, it normally eats away at it a lot, so I want to prevent that the best I can. So I'm going to put white glue on it, and then I'm also going to hit it with some paint. So now it's going to be hitting with some black paint just to give extra protection, and then we're going to hit it with 2 coats of spray paint, one black and then one brown. But first we're going to finish this black paint. I really think just the black paint and the wood looks so good. But yeah, this piece is definitely coming together, which is really nice. The black paint just gives it this extra cool effect on my eyes. So this is after spray paint, and gosh, that looks so good. We are putting everything together now with just hot glue like everything else. Just hot gluing the pieces on. I figured out what kind of shape and what kind of pose I wanted him in. If you're doing something like this, make sure you have the pose you wanted him in. And then go back and hot glue it in that way. I'm doing the other arm here, the right arm. And now we're doing the left arm. Left arm's a little wobbly. I need to fix that later on, but for now, it's okay. And then now we're putting on the head. And oh gosh, the head really puts this thing just to perspective and really makes it look good in my eyes. So yeah, that's it. This took me around 3 to 4 days to really completely assemble. I haven't measured it yet, but it's probably about 1.5 to 2 feet tall. And this is just the beginning. We still have to paint the rest of it. I did some basic base coats with just black spray paint and gray spray paint. I'm really looking forward to finishing this. It's going to have a nice wizard tower coming up the front or the back of it. I'm going to strengthen up these joints because like this arm's still a little wobbly. Give it a really nice paint job, and that's going to happen in part 2 of this video. I didn't put it all into one because I didn't want it to be like 30, 40 minutes long. I want to keep it about 10 to 15 to 20. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in if you watched this whole way. Hope you enjoyed. In the next part, we're going to get right into painting this thing and finishing the wizard tower. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.